Porsche 911 is one of the most recognizable sports cars in the world would be an understatement of epic proportions. It's a very unique product. It's a sports car that's still powered by an engine installed in the rear of the car. That's unique. Most other companies have never been able to make that successful, but Porsche is a cut above. And to be honest, the 911 has made Porsche the company that it is today. Everything that you see that Porsche sells today stems from this basic car. It's success for decades. They've been producing the 911 for over 50 years now in various generations of the car. That success has allowed Porsche to produce sports cars like the Carrera GT, the 959, the 928, the Cayenne, the Macan, you name it. And this is the basis of the company. And to be honest, I've been a huge fan of Porsche 911s for many, many years. Now, I might not be able to afford one, but what my job does give me an opportunity to do is to fly out to Germany, borrow a 992 911 from Porsche and drive around in the Black Forest region of Germany. So it's going to be a good couple of days for me here to drive one of my favorite sports cars in the world, the latest generation of which will get us to see what the car offers and why it is so special for customers and for the company. Like I said earlier, despite its various generations over the decades, the essentials of a Porsche 911 still remain the same. It's still a relatively small sports car. It's a 2+2, space in the rear though is quite tight. But the overarching feeling, the first reaction that you get when you sit in a Porsche 911, especially the 992s, is how fantastically put together it is. The panel gaps, the fittings, how different surfaces like the metal and the leather work together. The high resolution display is fantastic. It's quickly becoming one of the benchmarks. It's the same with the Cayenne, it's the same with the Macan, and even in the 911 it works fantastically. Touchscreen responds very well. And in fact, just the whole integration of the multimedia system with the rest of the car is fantastically well done. You get various choices. Of course, one of the biggest things about a 911 is about how customizable it is and how many different versions they have. What we're driving is the new 911 Carrera S. This is a 3-litre flat 6 twin turbo, 450 PS, about 443 horsepower, 550 Nm of torque. It's paired to, it's rear wheel drive only, this one. This is not the all wheel drive version. And it's paired to an 8-speed PDK transmission, which works fantastically well. What I get, my first reaction when I started driving the 911 on the highways and in German autobahns around Stuttgart where we are in the Black Forest area, there are lots of stretches where you can really stretch your car. They're de-restricted, which means you can go as fast as your car, your driving skill and your conditions, road conditions permit. And I was easily doing above 200 kilometers an hour, and it's just fantastic. The engine response is what really gets to you first. It's twin turbocharged, it's a 3-litre, it's not a very big engine, but it just responds fantastically. And I think the integration of the turbochargers by the Porsche engineers is fantastic because there's no turbo lag, any gear, and it just starts flying. You can manually shift the gears too, you've got paddles, it works quite well. In fact, I've hardly needed to manually shift. What you also get now in the new version of the 911 is on the steering you get a drive mode knob. This allows you to choose Sport, Sport Plus, Wet, racetrack mode. So different modes, different power deliveries, differently. The car responds differently. It's also got adaptive suspension. And on this car, on this particular version that we're driving, it's got 20-inch wheels at the front, 21-inch at the rear. So what I think I really like about the car is the quality, is how good the engine is, how fast the car is. The steering also has pretty good feel, so you can actually tell what's actually happening. And even though this is a pure sports car, I'm still getting a fuel efficiency level of 48 kilometers to litre, despite all the high-spirited driving, despite fast driving in the Black Forest roads, which is pretty good because essentially the Porsche 911 is not that heavy. It's under 1500 kilos dry, and I think that makes a big difference. Couple of things that are going to be a bit of a problem though. One, at high speeds, and I mean really high speeds, you can feel what they talk about when they say the front of the 911 feels a little light, because most of the weight, the engine, the gearbox is all integrated in the rear. The front can be a little bit sort of moving around, and you have to slightly give it a bit of input, which is quite good because it keeps you hooked on to the driving. It means your concentration is on. But I mean, yeah, I think I've driven cars that's slightly more blunted. That's one. Two, even on German roads, I found a few stretches which was in not so good condition. Yeah, it happens in Germany too. That's a surprise. In the 20 and 21 inch wheel combo, the car can feel quite stiff. So that in Indian conditions is going to be a problem. I love the seats though, I love the sound system, like I said earlier, the integration, just the whole fit and finish. And let's be honest, I've been a fan of the Porsche 911 all along, so I'm slightly biased here. But I have to say, Carrera S, this might just be, a level above the entry-level Porsche 911, but with the 450 odd horsepower it's going on, with 530 Nm of torque, with the throttle response, with the fantastic gearbox, I really don't see why you would need any more power. This is more than enough. It responds brilliantly. And with the turbocharging and the 530 Nm of torque, what really helps is that when you're trying to accelerate between speeds, that's a very important marker of how quick a car is, how responsive it is. So if you're doing, let's say, about 100 kilometers an hour, you press the throttle, you'll be hitting 200 before you know it. So that really makes a difference, because picking up speed and then dropping speed is fantastic. Under the brakes, Porsche feels absolutely fine. Thankfully lucky I didn't get any rain, so I've not been able to experience how it is in the wet, but just the experience of driving on these fantastic Black Forest roads and driving on the fantastic German autobahns in a car that you've always loved. It's a dream come true. And I have to say, I'm struggling to find, or rather think of, better experiences that I've had over the years. Germany, a nice Porsche 911, the roads, sunny weather, there's not much you can ask for.